Be ready.
In a previous video, I talked a little bit about the dynamic between air units and ground units. Ground units typically have to stop to fire, while air units can fire while on the move, basically. And it allows players to use their air units in unique ways where they can just maneuver them during the whole fight and kind of keep them in really good positions. Basically, have them always in range of and firing at ground units that can't fire back. And then if the opponent has tier 1 anti-air, just playing keep away from them and just staying out of range of them, basically. And the tier 1 units can have a really hard time fighting back because they're just other ground units that they're running into, and they just can't quite get in range. So I've experienced this on both sides. Opponents doing this to me, myself doing it to my opponents. And the best example I found was this particular game, and this is my opponent doing it to me, and they just do it flawlessly. This is just the perfect example I could find of this, so I just kind of wanted to showcase what happens here, and we'll just kind of follow along in this replay. So my opponent techs Falcons, and this is kind of the first time I'm seeing them, so I'm running away with my melee units, and I'm trying to amass enough beetles that I can contest them. Beetles maybe aren't the greatest choice. They're versatile, so they're not like overly specialized at shooting air, but I figure if I can get enough of them, I could hopefully fight back. And I've got them in 2 separate control groups, and we'll kind of pay attention to the mini-map here as well. They're out of sight right now, and I'm just kind of poking and prodding around a little bit. And there's the red blob, some ground units. And there's the Falcons coming in, so he's trying to attack my ground units. He's being really careful. He's being very mindful to kind of stay near terrain that he can kind of escape to with his Falcons if he needs to. And here he's approaching me, and then this was maybe my missed opportunity to get my beetles in position and attack the Falcons, but I didn't quite take that. My opponent gets his ground units in front of the Falcons. Now he's protected. Falcons are shooting on my melee units. I try to get my beetles in position, but his scorpions are blocking me. This whole time his Falcons are shooting at my melee units, just whittling them down. And here he's got his melee units approaching my beetles, which wasn't ideal. And then here's me trying to get my beetles in position to attack the Falcons, but he's just playing keep away. He's just keeping them right on the outskirts of where my beetles can reach, letting his Falcons fire at my melee units, and just really assist his scorpions in killing those until my entire melee army is gone. And then once that's gone, he can just kind of do double duty with the scorpions and the Falcons to just clean up everything else, and I concede. So yeah, that was just kind of a perfect example. My opponent just did an amazing job of controlling those Falcons and just getting the absolute most value out of them that he possibly could. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to show that, and you know, this applies to pretty much any air unit you would use if you use dragonflies or anything else. You can, you know, try to control units like these. And then this is also just something to keep in mind if you're the defending player and you're trying to defend with just tier 1 anti-air. You really got to be mindful of making sure you can get them into good positions to defend. And in the previous video I talked about this a little bit. The thing I emphasized then was that the Blink Hunter, between the different anti-air choices you have in tier 1, that's why the Blink Hunter was pretty meta in the beta. It was just a really, really popular choice because that blink ability specifically was just a huge benefit to overcoming that weakness of tier 1 anti-air, that whole problem of getting into position. The ability to just blink to a spot and then immediately teleport all those tier 1 anti-airs to the right position, right underneath the enemy air units, was huge. It was hugely beneficial. So yeah, Blink Hunter is definitely a good tier 1 choice for that reason. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to show off. So I hope that was a helpful tip, and catch you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.